Musikproduktiv und Musitalk TV präsentieren den Webcast von der Musikmesse 2012. Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Musitalk Messecast 2012 von der Frankfurter Musikmesse, präsentiert von Musitalk TV und Musikproduktiv. Aber heute bin ich nicht auf der Messe, sondern wir sind quasi noch einen halben Tag vorher hier eingeladen worden von den Propellerheads und ich habe den Chef höchstpersönlich neben mir, den Ernst. Hallo Ernst.
Hi there.
So, you're doing a preview here before the Musikmesse starts, and what you're showing is called recent extensions. What basically is it?
They're called rack extensions.
Sorry, rack.
Yes. Rack extensions, it's a technology that we introduced today that allows third parties to create and distribute devices for the Reason rack, so instruments, effects, and other devices.
Okay, so it's not a VST plugin concept, it's your own sort of, your own devices, has nothing to do with any plugin standard, right?
Well, the only probably, I mean, one of the common denominators is that the basic idea is that it will allow musicians to add more stuff to their music making, so instruments and effects. So in that way, it's similar to plugins. And it's also similar to plugins that you can use the same DSP code, the audio code, as you have in a VST. You can use that in a rack extensions, but after that, it's pretty much different.
But is it yet another plugin standard, or how would you perceive it?
Yeah, you could say that, but what we said was we wanted to take a step back and look at what plugins could be. And we saw all these good things that I talked about, you know, expanding sonic palettes and stuff. We also saw some stuff that we didn't like. We saw how plugins can crash and bring down a user document. We saw how they're not well integrated in the software, so stuff like undo and cut and paste doesn't work. We saw how musicians are struggling with simple things like browsing for sounds because you have to relearn again and again every time you get a new.
Is it that the rack extension will also sort of have a universal kind of user interface?
There is some functionality that's centralized. So for example, if you're looking for sounds, you hit browse and you can go into the recent browser and type pad. For instance, if you're looking for a pad, and the program will just collect all the stuff on your system that can do a pad sound, and you can just audition them like you do with recent devices today.
Okay, so there seems to be a tighter integration than normally I would have as a plugin developer, so I have access to some of the functionality of Reason directly.
Exactly, and everything that, you know, stuff like automation or integrating with external hardware just works like they do in Reason.
And there will be something like an SDK that I would, do I have to apply?
Yes, you apply to be a developer and then we hand you an SDK and then hopefully you create something beautiful, ship it to us, we review it and put it up for sale.
So it's like a little bit like a walled garden, like a little bit like Apple does, where they have a little bit more strict control, like versus Android, for example. So you prefer to have a little bit of a tighter control that you would have if you would open it up to a standard like VST.
We think that, yes, I mean, that's true. The most important thing for us is to make good stuff for the musician. So we want to make sure that quality is high for everything. So yes, controlling is a part of that, absolutely.
Sure. I mean, that's the beauty of Reason. I mean, it always really works, you know, it really does. And you don't want to lose that. So I would apply. Do I need to submit an idea for my plugin, or is it a review process like in the App Store where I would send it to you guys, you would take a look at it, check it technically, and then you would okay it?
Yes, it's very much like the App Store. It's a technical check, but there's also some other criteria, some simple criteria. But those are, you know about those up front. So
no porn.
Exactly.
No tits on the Reason rack,
That's
right?
Correct. Yes.
Which is sure. And the revenue model for me as a developer would be that you sell it for me as well?
Yes, we do. We will distribute it for you, make it available for download at no special charge. And again, it's like the App Store. You keep 70, we take 30%.
Okay, but if there is already 10 really unique and great analog synthesizers and I submit the 11th, could that be a problem?
Well, that wouldn't be any different than if you put it up for sale anywhere. If there's a better, less expensive.
But that wouldn't mean that you don't approve it. It's you don't.
Oh, no. That's up to you. No, we just have some technical standards or some content standards, that's all.
Because with the App Store from Apple, there have been in the past a lot of complaints from developer that it wasn't really transparent why their app was being rejected, and there was.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
Okay. So what do you have? Which are there already some manufacturers, plugin developers out there who have already committed for something for 6.5?
Yes, today we showed stuff from Yuhi, from Sonic Charge, from Softube, and we also have commitments for other companies like Korg and Sugar Bites. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
And well, there's almost no question left. There was one thing that was really exciting is that the little drum computer you're showing on the iPad.
Yeah, it's actually a slice of Reason on the iPhone, is what we say. So it's more than drums. It's drums and bass and lead. And it is actually Kong and Thor that we ported over to iOS and put a completely new type of interface on them. And the idea there is to allow musicians to make music in new settings, in new environments. You know, the example we used in the demo is the 3-minute bus ride. What can you do in 3 minutes?
Cool concept. I mean, on our side at MusiCtalk.de, there's always a lot of debate about the iPad. You know, people say, "Oh, this is just a toy." I actually see it as the future of computing for everyone. It's like Apple says, post-PC. I think there's a lot of truth in there. Do you see the future of your company on the tablet?
What we try to do is to really find and design the best products for the different type of platforms. So we think Reason is designed for a computer and lives very well there with a mouse and a big screen and maybe multiple screens. But if you sit on your bus with a phone, you can't use Reason on that screen and not in that environment.
I agree, because everything is too small.
Yes. So we wanted to create a product that was designed specifically for that situation, but still had a lot of what Reason provides in terms of sound and inspiration.
And we can obviously expect that to grow, just like the platform itself will grow. We will have faster iPads, we'll have more horsepower and everything.
You know, we've been doing this for a long time. Those phones are much more powerful than the computers were when we made our first versions of Rebirth. So we're pretty happy the way they are.
Very true. I think that's a very good last word. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.